What's up, y'all? How's it going? This is your boy back with another video, this time addressing a comment that I've seen over and over and over. Maybe not specifically a comment towards me or towards anyone else, but just a comment that I see that keeps being brought up. And that's your distributors and your publishers. Okay. So the thing I want to talk about is something that Pay Us No Mind has talked about on his channel quite a few times. And I've never talked about it on mine. So I figured this would be the time to bring it up and to let you guys know, because a lot of you guys are coming to me for information, which I approve of. And that's why this channel's here, to try to help out my fellow independents. But one thing I've never talked on or never even touched on was the fact that these distributors and these publishers are not here to make you money. I just want to make sure you know that. Okay. Now, some of you might be like, what? That makes no sense. Like, you might be new, or you might not know about how the industry works, but publishers and distributors are not here to get you plays on streams and stuff. They're not here to get you your sales. They're not here to get you, like, they try to help you by getting you onto a playlist or their own playlist, but that doesn't guarantee that people will listen to your music. Now, things that will help people listen to your music are like talking to people or networking even. I'll give you an example. For me, what helps my music is the fact that I meet people that are my target market. Okay, now this is going to go into a little bit of business and marketing. That's my background. That's what I have my bachelor's in. But when you start making your music, yes, you're making your music because you're passionate. You've been inspired by something, you caught a vibe, or you heard something and it ticked in your head and you're like, I got a track for that. That's cool. You always want to do that. Always make what inspires you. If you feel it in your heart and your soul, good. But then there's ways that you can, make some little adjustments, make some tweaks here and there. And when you find out who your music should go to, your target audience, your market, the people that want to listen to your music, that's who you should kind of tailor your music towards a little bit more. All right. Now, in my intro, which I'm going to redo my intro pretty soon, I talked about how I'm a new age composer. I'm not a musician. I'm not a producer. I am a composer. I do produce and I do play the piano and I play the electric guitar and the electric violin, but I am a composer. Okay. I've grown up in the music industry, kind of, sort of. That's a different story. But I know people that have taught me things, and that's where I have passed on this information to you. Most of my videos are passed on information from those who are in the industry that choose to remain nameless, which is cool. But when it comes to getting plays, getting streams, getting people to listen to your music, you really got to think about who you're making your music for. Now, if you're making your music for someone particular, that's fine. Okay, like I make my music for myself. As an example, sometimes I can't sleep at night. My brain is just going off. I'm thinking about way too many scenarios, from video games to card games and strategies, and if I want the next PS5 or not, all this stuff. And I'm like, my brain won't shut up. I want to go to sleep. It's like, 2 a.m. I'm sick of thinking about all this stuff. What can I do to help myself relax and go to sleep? I'm listening to music. So since I listen to a lot of classical and jazz and new age and house and like a whole bunch of genres that are pretty easy listening at times, I started making music to help me go to sleep. And then I found out that there were other people like me who had trouble going to sleep, and this music helps them go to sleep too. So something that you guys can do, and I'll give you a good example of something that you can do to help you get more music, or help you make money with your music, at least a little bit, get you some streams, get people listening to your stuff. One thing you can do is start questioning people. Everybody has their support group, like their friends, their family, stuff like that. Ask them about your music. Don't ask them if it's good or not, because people want to say, oh, my music's not good, people aren't listening to it. That's not the case. That is not the case. You need to find what your music is good for from other people. Okay, so I'll give you an example. When I asked my friends and family, how does my music sound to them? They were like, oh, it sounds good. I was like, that's not the answer I want. I want actual criticism. I want constructed criticism. They were like, oh, okay, well, your music is nice, but it makes me tired. I was like, good. That's what I want, because that's what I was making my music for. So if it works on other people, then I'm doing something right. All right. So we continue. So I start asking more and more friends and family, hey, listen to this song and tell me what you think of it. And they'd be like, oh, it sounds good. I really like it. Like, no. Again, tell me the truth. Give me some constructive criticism. And they would be like, well, it's a little too slow for me. Like, okay, it's not for you, right? It's not for you. You like faster music. Okay, but when you listen to it, what happens? They're like, oh, well, mostly I like to listen to music that makes me want to dance or gives me energy. This kind of like brings me down, and like it makes me want to just focus. Like some people said that they would listen to my music while doing their homework or while they were studying on something, or if it was just playing in the background, like they were just lounging and needed something to kill the silence. They didn't want to listen to pure silence in their house or in their environment. They were like, your music would be really good for that. And then some people even got back to me. This was a long time ago. So MySpace was when I started uploading music. A couple of my fans were like, yo, I love listening to your music when I'm like cleaning up my room or cleaning up my house, or if I'm, or if I'm trying to like lay down or something, or if I'm focused on like writing this essay or something. It was all things that needed them to either focus on resting, one, or focus on a task at hand. Now we have like those lo-fi hip hop stations that help you, like study and listen to music and stuff, right? So I started tweaking my music, because before I didn't have drums. I did not have drums in my music when I first started. So I started adding hip hop drums, kind of like boom bops, and I started adding in some like, what are those drums? Dang, I forgot what they're called. They're from like breakbeat drums, and I started to switch it up. So then I started to get a different response out of my audience. Some of my audience was like, yo, with those drums, those hip hop drums that you added, like it makes me want to dance, but like not like energetic. It makes me want to like just like groove with somebody, like just move and just get into the zone. I was like, okay, so now it turned into lounge music. And this is something why I always tell you guys, know your genre. If you're putting your music in the wrong genre, no one's going to really listen to it, or it might attract the wrong people. You might have somebody who's like, I want to listen to fast music. And then your music comes up on Spotify and they're like, skip because it's too slow, or they don't hear anything for the first like 5-10 seconds. I'm just giving an example. So, if they're not in that mindset to listen to that music, even though what you made is like, let's say a hip hop track, but it's really slow. It's not lo-fi, but it's like really slow instrumental hip hop. They're not looking for that. They're looking for something else. So you might want to branch out and research your genre, research what other things that hip hop sound goes into. Because then when you start getting into instrumental hip hop, that's where a lot of people want to listen to slow hip hop beats, So if you do your research, you find out where your market is. And I did all this while I was on MySpace and SoundCloud. So I'm going to just continue the story just to help you guys out. So using that as an example, on SoundCloud, I started reaching out to people. They started doing these posts like New Music Friday and stuff when that happened a couple years ago. So I started uploading like trial songs to see if it caught people's attention, and I would upload different types of experimental sounds, and experimental is its own subgenre. So I started uploading to experimental, and people were like, oh man, this sounds really nice, but I would like this better in lo-fi. So I deleted it, re-uploaded it to lo-fi, and then those people were like, man, this is a nice like instrumental hip-hop track. It belongs with something like Fat John or Nujabes. I was like, okay, so let's go with instrumental hip hop. And then those people would be like, yo, this is tight. I like this. So I was like, okay, that's how I started to find my subgenres. But you don't want to do that with Spotify, because every time you do that with Spotify and you start changing your genre, it resets your streams and your count. So that's something to be aware of. But anyway, continuing. So the more I experimented, the more I found out where my music was. For a long time, I thought I was just pure instrumental hip hop because I started adding hip hop drums, trap drums, and stuff to like house chords and other types of stuff. Like my music is all over the place. But then after researching my genre, I was like, man, you know, the way my music sounds, I'm taking so many elements from so many different genres and subgenres that what is this sound? Like I started like naming it on my own because I was like, I made up my own new genre. And then I found out from doing research that that was new age, and there's different types of new age music. So getting to the point, like when you're making your music, when you're uploading it, when you're trying to find your audience, you got to take time to experiment. You can't just, you know, go to a distributor like 1RPM and just upload your track and be like, I'm not getting any streams, I'm not making any money, what's going on? 1RPM sucks. That's not what's going on. It is not their job to make you money. They're already making money off people, off other artists, off other musicians, off composers, off commercials, off sync contracts and stuff like that. They're making money already. It's not their job to make you money. Okay, so what you want to do, if you want to get streams and you want to get plays, you need to find who your audience is. Find that market. You know, find out who wants to listen to your music. Start with your friends and family. Get them to tell you some constructive criticism. Or, you know, if you there are some places online, if you do some research where like Busyworks Beats, when he streams, sometimes he'll have his like 30-second critiques where like he'll be like, all right, send me your music and I'll critique it in the first 30 seconds. So if he doesn't listen to it past 5 seconds, then he'll be like, it's too slow, or it doesn't have, you know, he'll give you some constructive criticism. Sorry, getting tongue tied. But Game King over at Busyworks Beats, he's a great person. He's helped me out plenty of times when it came to getting to understanding music theory and chords and chord progression and stuff like that. I needed some touch-ups from not being in school for so long, but he's good for that. Like he'll do streams like that, live streams on YouTube where he'll critique people's music live. There are other people that will do it too. You just got to like do your research or you know, find those people. I used to do it on Twitch for a couple years where I used to help people out when I'd be making my music. Sometimes I would stream and I'd record the stream of me making just some tracks from scratch, and some people be like, hey, can you listen to my track? Can you tell me what you think of it? Where do you think it should go and stuff like that? And I'd give my feedback. But mostly find your audience. That's going to be the main thing, because when you find your audience, that's when you're going to start getting plays. I don't have thousands of streams because of no reason. You know, like I found my audience. Every time I meet somebody and I speak with them in person and they're like, man, you know, like I'm real busy. I work all the time. Sometimes I have a hard time going to sleep. I'm like, I got the track for you. You know, like I'll think about what they're, you know, I'll feel them out and I'll be like, okay, I see what type of person you are. You know what? Listen to this track. This track I made will help you go to sleep. And then I hear from the next day, yo, that song put me out. I've never slept like that in years. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And it's like, bam, I got another follower, got another listener. You know, I got another 5,000 plays from that one person. You know, I'm not exaggerating either. I usually, because they put it on repeat. That's why I make my music. My music is made for it to be on repeat. So it just loops over and over and over. And while it's looping, you're off in la la land. You're having dreams and stuff. So, you know, if you need help, think about stuff like what music you can make that people will listen to. And I'm not saying only make your music so that, you know, it's for a specific purpose. I'm saying make your music so that at least 1 or 2 tracks, let's say out of an album of 12 songs, 2 songs will be progressive. And progressive means for the public. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a person that likes to jog every morning. Let's say every day, Monday through Friday, you go out for a jog, you know, for like 2-3 hours, right? Well, other people do that, right? You know, like there are hundreds of people right now across across America that are working out in the morning because they're not going to work, So especially during the start of the pandemic and the lockdown. So think about that. Okay, there are plenty of people going out for a jog every morning. They listen to music. They have on their headphones, their iPods, whatever. So they have a playlist. What would it take for you to make a song that would fit in that playlist? If you have energetic music, let's say, what type of music would you listen to, and can you make a song that would work with that? That could be in that type of playlist. And also listen to your own music. Be your own critic. If you're a person that's making music for like meditation purposes, open up Spotify and play it. See if it helps you meditate as a listener. If you're like, man, I really make music for XYZ, put it in your own playlist. Make a Spotify playlist, have a bunch of tracks that relate to that song, and put that song in the playlist and listen to that whole playlist and see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then it's not the song you thought it was, or if it does fit, then it's like, okay, I made it right for this genre. How do I find people that want to listen to tracks like this? That's what you should be thinking about. So if you're like, I've uploaded like 3 albums and I barely have 500 streams, you're probably in the wrong genre. Or if you're less than that, let's say you've had an album out for 2 years and it has less than 100 plays on Spotify, you're probably in the wrong genre. Or your singles might be in the wrong place. That's something to think about. Also finding your market. Like, I'm on Instagram and Twitter, but I don't advertise through there. People see it. I make videos, I make announcements on my album releases and stuff. But I don't like market through there. I know how to market through person to person. My music gets played for like meditation playlists, spa playlists. There are people who have playlists where I've heard my own music in an open house before. It went for an open house for real estate, and bam, I heard my song on the playlist on Pandora, and I was like, hey, that's right. That's what I made it for, So you got to think about where your music is going to be played and who's going to be listening to it. At the end of the day, people will listen to whatever they want to listen to. No one's going to force someone to listen to a song that they don't want to listen to. So how can you make your music, your craft, desirable? And who is it for? Remember that. Who is it for? Who you're making your music for? If you're making music just for you, cool. Then who else is like you? Find other people that are like you and like-minded like you that want to listen to that type of music that you're making. So keep that in mind. These distributors are not trying to make you money. They want you to make money, but they're not going to market for you. They're not going to advertise for you. They're not going to be your managers. They're not going to be your coaches. They're not going to be, your teammate. They're there as a service. They get your music into retail stores, and that's it. That's their only job. Once your music hits that retail store like Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, etc., their job is done. They're just there to collect now after that. Literally after that point, when your music hits stores, they're there to collect for you on your behalf. That's it. So, think about stuff. Think about what your music is for. Think about how you're making your music. Always make your music the way you want to make it, but then think about how you can tweak it, how you can adjust it. That's the whole point of mixing and mastering, right? Finding ways to make it sound either better or enhance the sound to what you want it to do. I do my own mastering, which someone has asked me in the comments to do a video on, which I will eventually, but I do my own mixing and mastering because I just have the experience, which it doesn't take long to do it if you know what you're doing, if you know what your sound is. If you're trying to go over something way more complicated, like let's say dubstep, which is very complicated, mixing and mastering is going to take you a while. If you're trying to go for something that's more progressive, more something radio sounding, or if you're trying to go for like a TikTok sound, something that's going to get played there, you might have to do some research. You can make money through TikTok right now. If you look at all the videos and the music that they use for their videos, you can easily make money off TikTok. TikTok plays for their sales and their revenue up front. So, whoever wants to use it, TikTok pays for it. But finding people that want to use that song is going to be something different. You might want to make a song that you have to make a video yourself on. You make the video yourself, and then other people are like, hey, I like that song. I like that video on TikTok. I might use that for my next video. That's how it works. Honestly, that's how it works. So think about that. Think about everything I've told you. I know it's been like 20 minutes of me talking, but I hope this information really helped you out. I'm trying to speak faster and not speak as slow as I was before. But like I said, think about who's listening to your music. I can't stress that out enough. Also, do research on your music. Just because you think, oh, I'm rapping on this track, so it's a rap song, it's hip hop. It might not be. There are so many subgenres now. There's so many subgenres that are out there now that you never know. You might be thinking, I got this sick rap song. This is such hip hop. Yeah. And then you find out it's trip hop because of the way the music sounds. So then, you're missing out on your trip hop audience. And trip hop is, man, that one. I make trip hop, and that one's kind of hard to explain, but look it up. Look up what you think you are. If you're thinking when you make your music, if I take this from this genre and this from this genre and this from this genre, or if I just like this sound, let's say I really like this classical sound, but if I take this classical sound and I add it with some trap beats and then I chop it up like techno or something else, and you're already like listing off multiple genres in your head as you're going through the creation process, right? So you've already got 3 in your head. Look up what those 3 come together and make. It might be some type of fusion. There's a lot of mixtures of subgenres. Find where you fit, and then you'll start making money. People will start listening to your music because your music is in the right place for those people who want to listen to that music. And it's never too late to change your genre. But remember what I said earlier. If you change your genre, let's say you're in metal, and you realize you're actually an alternative rock artist. You can change that album's genre by contacting your support team. Let's say 1RPM. You contact 1RPM support. You tell them, hey, I made a mistake. I uploaded that album under metal and it's actually alternative rock. They'll say, okay, do you need us to change it? You say yes. They'll change it. They'll resend out the list of everything so that it'll go from metal to alternative. But the problem is you're going to lose all your numbers. I mean, if you don't have really a lot of numbers, then it's not going to hurt you at all. But if you had like 50,000 plays, 50,000 or more, don't change it. Just don't change it. Just leave it where it is. If you have like less than 1,000, just change it. It's not going to hurt you. Because when you hit that new genre, that new group of listeners, you're going to get more plays anyway. So don't think that the distributors are going to help you, because they don't. They don't. That's not their job. That's not their place. They try to put you in a playlist. They'll try to release your music at the right time. They'll try to get it to all the stores and all the retail stores and their partners as much as possible, but no one's guaranteed to pick up your music. No one's guaranteed to take it and run with it. So think about what you're making, who should be listening to it, and who you're making it for. Those are the main things. And that should help you guys out. All right, I'm not going to make this a 30-minute video. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for all the comments and all the support and all the followers. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I appreciate it. If you're wondering about my music, it's here on my channel. If you have questions, please leave them below. As always, I'll try to answer them as best as possible. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Peace.